The subprime situation in the United States has touched almost everyone in the US. Banks promised ridiculous and limited subprime rates and offers to lure people from all walks of life into buying a home. When the real rates kicked in, families were left unable to keep up with payments and were decimated in the process. Foreclosures occurred at rates unprecedented anywhere at any time throughout history. For lower-income families, renting is often the only option. Unfortunately, rent only creates income and equity for the landlord, not the tenant. ProFinancial fills well-used homes with people who want to create equity for themselves and a future for their families and the communities they live in. This isn't a story about the banks and their misfortunes. It's a story about people who have come out ahead despite the subprime problem, turning their misfortunes into opportunities.
This is 5432 Gilmore, and this is my home.
I'm Pamela Renee Mitchell, and I'm Donna Renee Mitchell, 5537 Thrush Avenue, and this is our house. When my husband got sick, we lost our home, so they foreclosed on it. Then we rented in Pine Lawn, landlord, slumlord, so had to get up out of there, and that's when my daughter Tanya found Marilyn Warr, W-A-R-R, and called her, and she told us about some properties and gave us, you know, the code and stuff. We looked at them. I found one, Tanya found one, so we moved out all at one time.
We decided to be closer to family, and then me and my mom wants to be closer as well, so we just decided to, you know, pick spots where we can be by each other. Well, actually, I had my own place, and then the landlord was just really very bad. He didn't get an inspection on my place, anything. He was just really bad at doing his job. So I had to move back with my mom, which was very hurting to me. I was crushed. So we ended up, you know, just finding somewhere else, which was here. And then I really wanted my own place again because I really needed it.
I was driving past a house one day, and it said $500 down, $300 a month, and I'm like, oh, that's bogus. So I put the number to the side, and I'm like, okay, I'll call another day when I got time to listen to somebody tell me about credit, tell me about this, and tell me about all that.
I was riding past one day, and I seen the sign in the yard, which said, you know, $500 down, $350 a month, and I was like, okay, cool, that sounds great, you know. And then I was like, well, the neighborhood, I know it very well, so there wouldn't be a problem. And my son's starting kindergarten, so the school's not far. And I just called the number, basically. And I told her my situation, and she just was like, oh, my goodness, well, we have to find you something. We have to get you in here. And she gave us the addresses, the codes to look inside the place.
We got to talking, and she was like, you seem like a pretty nice guy. But let me tell you something. This is real. We have a lot of properties that we buy that go into foreclosure from the bank, and we want to get rid of them. We want to put them back into the communities, and the only way we can put them back in the communities is if people like you, who have an income, who will buy the houses from us and rent them back out. That's the only way they can be back in the community.
Probably staying with relatives or hotels, and that costs a lot of money.
I really don't like going to relatives and house to house and house, and I like to be stable, so I really don't know where I would be.
ProFinancial has created a system which allows disadvantaged families to purchase homes at below market value. These homes are well used, but with a little sweat equity, these are homes with a future.
Hallelujah.